Hello, human beings. It's Jaffe. Why am I wearing this hat? Because that's what gentlemen do. It is Friday and it's the day to be classy. I was talking to somebody about a video game. This company launched a service-based competitive game it's about two months now. I says, how's retention? He says, it's not great. It's not bad. It's not great. He's like, it's people like the game. They come in, they come back often, but they don't stick around for more than 2 or 3 or 4 games. And I say, I can relate. That's the history. That's the story of my designer life doing multiplayer games. Calling All Cars suffered. I mean, it was the most heartbreaking weekend. You fucking throw open the doors and it's like, my God, there's tons of people here. And throughout the weekend, it's just, it starts to go and go and go. And we eventually, leveled out to what a normal was, but it's very disheartening, right? Calling All Cars, Twisted Metal, certainly Drawn to Death was a terrible thing to watch those numbers drop. But there are still fans of those games, and this guy has fans of his game. And there's a lot of these games that are really fun and really engaging and really good, but they're just not super sticky. And it's really feast or famine in that world. And I think that's really unfortunate. Look, I look at Fall Guys, for example. This is not Fall Guys I'm talking about, by the way. But I cannot imagine the Fall Guys retention is great. It's a really fun game for about 3 days, 2 days, then you're done for a while. So I was thinking, this is my pitch. It's coming, I promise. It's coming. It's Friday, baby. It's the end of the week. I'm doing my best. I'm dressed up for you. Somebody says to me, they said, Jaffe, you're always so dirty. You need to wash your clothes. I'm like, I'm not a hobo, you fuck. I have a big dog who likes to jump up on me, and now I'm all sensitive about it. So I dressed up, and now you're rushing me. Here's the pitch. What if, and let's just take Sony, because, it's a frame of reference. This is not a Sony guy, just so you know. What if Sony were to say, why does every fucking service-based game have to be the giant big fucking thing? It's a ridiculous thing. Not every game can be that. When I was a kid, there was must-see TV on NBC. They did it up and down for a while. It was always like their best shows Thursday night. You waited for it. You looked forward to it. Here's the pitch. Finally, I'm getting to it, you old so-and-so. Sony, you can have this idea. I'm going to give it to you for free. I told you I was a gentleman. What if Sony were to say, let's do like network programming for some of our online games? So yeah, there are the online games that are mainstays. Like let's say, everybody knows Guerilla. The rumor is Guerilla's working on a new tactical shooter. If it's a big, great hit, it should be running 24/7. But what if they took games like, let's just take Destruction All-Stars that just came out. It's a great game. I think it deserves to thrive. It's just not, this massive addictive thing. That doesn't mean it doesn't deserve an audience, right? Same with Calling All Cars. There's a number of games that kind of fall into that category. Fall Guys is another. And what if Sony said, just take Sony, we're going to schedule days for games. Those games only have their servers turned on a couple times a week. So all day Monday and all day Friday, you can play Destruction All-Stars. On Saturday, you can play Calling All Cars. Sunday is a wild card. So they might turn on the servers for Twisted Metal 2012. They might turn on the servers for the Forever Children that Q Games did, I like how I just scratched the top of my top hat like that's my head. But if the only reason games can succeed in that space is if they are these really big, massive successes like Rocket League, we're missing out as gamers because Destruction All-Stars is a really fucking good game. It's fun to play in 2 or 3 sessions, and then I'm good. But I'm not good like I want it to die. I'm good for a day or 2 or a week. And then I'm like, oh shit, Destruction All-Stars is happening this weekend. Let's play that. I'm just trying to get a sense of what do you think of games as a service that the service is 24/7, but like a television network, you're only getting individual games a couple of times a week for a 24-hour period. Would you like that? Or would you be like, go fuck yourself, that's dumb? I'm not talking about doing this because if you only run a service game 2 days a week, people aren't having to work the other 5 days, and so it saves money. It's less about that and more about building up demand so that when a game is running that people like, that just isn't super sticky, it builds demand, and so you have a large audience that comes in and plays and is available to play because they've been looking forward to play that game. When you make it available 24/7, the audience and the demand gets so spread out that you end up having lobbies that aren't very crowded, and then that builds on itself. Somebody might love the game, but they come in and they don't want to wait for 10 minutes for a game to start and they wash out, and it compounds, and then suddenly it's a dead game. So it's less about going, let's save money by not running the game 24/7, and more about going, let's build demand, which will ultimately create create a more crowded game, which ultimately yields a better game because there's a lot of people to play with. I only ask because when I'm talking to this guy, I'm like, this is ridiculous. You have a really fun game, and now you guys are talking about all this crazy shit you have to do to build retention, which really doesn't serve the game. It would be like, you can play Uno. Uno is a fucking great game. Uno is a classic. If Uno had to live under the same standards as a multiplayer service game, it would be dead because you'd have to add all this power-up shit, a meta system. You'd have to add all these variations to it just to keep people coming back. It would lose its purity and its fun. Just because I only want to play Uno with my kids 4 or 5 rounds and I'm done for a week doesn't mean it shouldn't exist. I think the same thing applies to a number of multiplayer video games. This would solve that. I think it would be sexy and exciting and cool. I hope your Friday's going well. Tell me what you think in the comments about my idea. I want to know if I should go to Sony and say, you make this. And they'd be like, who are you? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I have a top hat. Goodbye.